Pace of innovation in AI is so rapid. Just in the past few weeks, I've noticed at least half a dozen new AI tools released for drug discovery, with a range of uses and claims. It's hard to keep up with what's new and useful and what's early hype. So let me break it down for you. Hi, I'm Ryan Flinn, the AI correspondent for Biotech TV. And what I'm seeing is two waves of AI tools for drug discovery. One is focused on protein folding, a critical element for drug design, while the other group is trying to simulate what happens inside cells when you change genes or drug them. The biggest cluster right now is in protein modeling. These are tools that predict what a protein looks like, how it folds, and how a drug molecule latches onto it. Now, a few years ago, AlphaFold was the only game in town. Now there are at least several different competitors, each attacking a different piece of the problem. There's three main new models that have come out recently. One is called OpenFold 3, which does what AlphaFold does, but it is open source and free to use without the restrictions that AlphaFold had. Another model from NVIDIA has already been tested in the lab against more than 130 different targets. And finally, Isomorphic Labs, the DeepMind spinoff, has released a new tool predicting how tightly a drug binds to its target. Nature has compared it to the next generation AlphaFold. There's also a new tool worth mentioning called BioReason Pro, which predicts what a protein does inside the body, the biological function. Now, the existing gold standard database has 250 million protein sequences, but functional descriptions for fewer than 1 in 1,000 of those. This model aims to fill in the rest. The second wave is what I'd call virtual biology. These tools build computer models that aim to predict how cells respond when you change them, either by drugging them or by knocking out a gene. The promise is that you could narrow down which experiments are worth running in the lab instead of testing everything and waiting months for results. Zara Therapeutics trained a model on a dataset 3 times larger than its previous version and says it's 5 times more accurate at predicting how cells respond when you turn off a gene. Of course, a big question that comes up is, are computational predictions reliable? That's a real problem the industry and academic researchers are grappling with. Many studies, discoveries, and breakthroughs can't be reproduced by other teams or in real cells. I was both frustrated and inspired by this very issue, so I ended up vibe coding an app to let researchers stress test their computational findings against real cell datasets. Check it out, it's free and open sourced on GitHub. It's called TruthSeek. Now, because the bottleneck in drug discovery isn't really about making predictions, we have plenty of those. The bottleneck is figuring out which ones are real, and that will continue to be the problem until we have more tools and more data. But it's been fun to learn about this, so be sure to follow Biotech TV for more news like this.